Hey, how you doing now?
Yeah, doing well. Yourself?
I'm good. It's been a little bit of time, hasn't it?
It was 2013 when we last saw each other. Been quite a while.
Now, what city did you train in?
I believe you were doing a class in Columbus, Ohio. Does that sound?
I've never been to Columbus
Oh
since.
man, then where did I? I remember it was somewhere here in the Midwest, and I
Oh, no,
traveled
no, no,
to
no. It's
the.
probably Indianapolis.
It was Indianapolis.
It was
Yep.
Indianapolis because it was the first class in Indianapolis that I had done. Now, okay, now for everybody to understand and know, let me give you a little background here. I did not become a certified Scrum trainer until 2013. So it's my first year, man. It's my first year being a trainer, right? And I'm just motivated. I'm just gonna go out here and I'm gonna change the world. That's what I'm gonna do. And people would always say about me, he's like a preacher. When he get on talking about this whole agile thing, he runs to the other side of the room, then runs to the other side of the room. That's probably those days when I was doing that, man.
And it was great. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, because we had some Angie's List folks in there,
Yes, we
and
did, yeah.
because they're over in Indy. That's right.
Yep, some Angie's List folks. We had some folks in there from the Marines, right? And I
Yep.
believe it was a weekend class.
Oh, you're better man than I
Yeah,
if
it
you
was
can
a
remember
weekend
that.
class. It was a weekend class because it's the first class that I did in Indianapolis. And Indianapolis, hey, I've had a wonderful time in Indianapolis. Period. It's close to Chicago. I enjoy being in the Midwest. I'm from Chicago. So anyway, enough about me. Introduce yourself, my friend. And we're calling this Success Mondays because we've had people that want to come and just motivate other people. With this pandemic going on, it's International Monday. Ladies, do you see I only got guys showing up here? Do you see this? Do you notice that, ladies? Are you seeing? Are you seeing? I only have guys showing up here, so y'all gonna have to do something about that. But introduce yourself
Yes,
so
sir.
we can learn more.
Yeah, Jason Sattler. I am a software professional. I started off as a software developer. Spent a lot of my time in security, defense, medical devices, and had my own consulting company up until 2013.
Okay.
Um, I'd worked with a variety of methodologies,
Mm-hmm.
all the different water giles
Yeah.
and, various shades of agile.
Okay.
But the problem I ran into in 2013 is that the bottom dropped out of my market that I was doing consulting in.
Okay.
I was looking to get into e-commerce and just get into something different.
Yeah.
Try to not do something that killed people. Uh, so get out of the DoD thing and get
Yeah.
into something a little different.
Okay.
Um, so the problem I ran into was, while I felt I had a reasonable understanding of Agile, and I didn't have the paperwork. I didn't have that certificate. So after being unemployed, essentially, I mean, when you own the company, when
Yeah.
nothing's coming in, unemployed for the better part of 10 months,
Okay.
uh, I need to get this certification, and how am I
Mm-hmm.
going to afford a certification after being unemployed for 10 months?
Mm.
So it was extremely daunting.
Yeah.
I was extremely concerned.
Okay.
And then I talked to you, and worked a deal with me. It worked. I don't know how many hardships you'd done before then, but we worked something out,
Yeah.
and it allowed me to get the certification, the Scrum Master certification, which
Mm-hmm.
allowed me within 4 weeks to get a job. That's awful nice to get a paycheck after not having one for
Yeah.
the better part of a year.
Yeah.
Um, it, Unless you've gone through it, you just really don't quite understand the anxiety
Yeah.
of that situation.
Yeah.
Um, so I got into e-commerce. You allowed me to do that by giving me that certification, by facilitating that. That allowed me to bring Agile into e-commerce consulting world, which is pretty. I mean, Watergile is about as agile as they get, even
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Um,
true.
but but was able to. I mean, literally the first project I got assigned to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a household name,
Yeah.
and they wanted to know about what our process was going to be. And, I'm getting up there and I talk about Agile because they didn't have a whole good methodology written down. So
Okay.
we started that project Agile, we rolled it out, and it got traction within the company just because we got a little push going there because the client then started asking for it.
Nice.
Had a lot of success over my 3 years there at that company doing Kanban and Scrum. Just depends on whether it was a maintenance contract or a development contract.
Now here's a question for you. Why you say that, right? You said Kanban, Kanban, however you guys want to pronounce it, right? And so you said you're using Scrum and you're using Kanban. And you mentioned two different areas that you would utilize that in. Why would you pick to use Kanban on one thing and Scrum on another?
So I really like Scrum for the development effort, a delivery project, because you can fail fast. You can reach some nice set goals. You can see some deliverables.
Yeah.
You don't always know where you're going to end up, but you know how you're going to try to get there.
Okay.
And that works great for that. And I found that doesn't always work well in a maintenance mode where the client needs something and they want something put together. And when they get enough functionality, they want to cut it and say, okay, this is what we want to put live.
Yeah.
Or we just need this. And so you violate so many aspects of the sprint, the time box by saying, well, we really need about 2.5 sprints. Well, that doesn't work well. Okay. Or we need a half a sprint. We just need this done. Yeah. So for that, I found that Kanban really worked well in that maintenance sort of mode where you're trying to get stuff put in as fast as possible.
Now, I like that. I like that. Now, here's the deal. Now, I always have to do this, Jason, because you've been around Agile and Scrum more than 8 years at this point, right?
Right.
And there are going to be people that will see this, and some of them will see it in the future, right? And they don't know what we're talking about when we say, especially a Kanban, maybe, right? And so if I was to give you a little definition of Kanban, and you tell me if this is right or wrong, it's kind of a work limited pull system. That's really all it really is, a work limited pull system. And you get a list of items, and you just grab the one that's at the top of the list, and you work that one. While, as you heard Jason say, Scrum has this time box associated with it. Regardless of what you want to call it, there's a time box. And one of the things that you're not supposed to violate during that time box is the commitment. You commit to a certain thing, you want to try to get to the end and get that certain thing done. And that can be difficult when you are in operations or maybe in maintenance, and they just got a list of things they want you to do. They don't really care if it's in a sprint. They don't care if they may want it delivered very often. They may want it all delivered at the end, but it just doesn't always work very well with the time box. Not that there's something wrong with Scrum. What Jason's really saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, is that you looked at the type of effort, the type of work you needed to do, and then you picked the best tool to solve the problem, right?
That's exactly right.
That's all we're really saying. Yep. Nothing more than that. And so I'm letting people know that. So please, please, please go look up Kanban. Learn about Kanban. Along with learning about Scrum. Learn about extreme programming. Don't think Scrum is the only thing in a building, because it's not. Use the best thing to solve the problem. So let's continue.